Because it's just like everything else that's worth doing. It takes effort. You're going to laugh at what I'm going to say next, but give me a moment to explain. It's a lot like being married. I thought you would laugh. Because it sounds like I'm saying, marriage is so much work. It is work. We have to work at it every day. But you know what? It's worth it. We've actually sat down as a couple and said that the last year and a half have been the best time in our married life. That when we completed 25 years this past January, we were talking to each other and we said, you know what, compared to the way we feel about each other now, I don't even know if we liked each other that first year. Because this is so much better. But that doesn't mean that every day of those 25 years was easy. She had to live with me. I told you about the sock thing, didn't I? And that's just the stuff I'm comfortable sharing here. Marriage is worth it, but it's difficult. It requires effort. You have to work at it every day. Following Christ is just like that. It requires effort. You have to work at it all the time. I may have told you this before, but if you really know me, if I was a Jeopardy question and somebody said, does your pastor like golf? The answer is no. He hates it with a passion. Actually, I probably shouldn't say I hate something when I'm your pastor. I don't like golf quite as much as I like having a caddy. Okay? It's in that category. I have some friends in San Jose when we lived down there that were the complete opposite. There were 3 of them, and if you went to their house, they had golf magazines on the table. And if the TV was on, it was on the golf channel. Matter of fact, the 3 of them each carried their golf clubs in the trunk of their car at all times in case, while they were out going to meet a client or going to work or doing something, if 9 holes of golf broke out, they were ready. If it was time to play golf, they were ready. And they talked me into going with them one Saturday, and I knew it was going to end badly, but I didn't know it was going to end quite the way it did. I hold the distinction. I mean, there are people that have had more holes in one than I have. There are people with a better handicap than I have. I think I'm the only person, at least on the West Coast, that's ever hit himself in the leg with his tee shot off the first tee.
Do you have to practice for that?
No, I'm a natural. I put the ball down. I watched Tim, and I watched Frank, and I watched what they did. And I'd hit golf balls before, but I hit it, and near as I can figure, I hit it with a lot of topspin because it went about 25 feet at about this angle and rotated for a second and came right back and hit me on the back leg on that little knobby thing on your leg. And it made this loud whack sound. But that's not what made everybody turn and look. It wasn't the whack sound when the ball hit me. And it wasn't me hopping around on one leg going, ow, ow, ow. It was the sight of 3 grown men that I used to think were my friends, laying on the ground, laughing hysterically. And to this day, if you go to the San Jose Municipal Golf Course and say, I'm a friend of Bob Adams, somebody who works there will go, is that the guy that hit himself in the leg? I don't like golf, but I admire people who do because they seem to be consumed by it. With people that golf, it's hardly ever just a hobby. It becomes something that they plan their life around. It becomes something that's important, that they want to get better at. And that's the way we have to be with the pursuit of Christ. The Apostle Paul goes on to say that in this pursuit of being like Christ, I'm not saying that I'm perfect, because God doesn't have any use for perfect people. He just has use for obedient people. He says, I'm not perfect, but what I do is I press on towards the goal. And if you study the Greek language, you know that this word that's translated press on is dioko, and it's a very emotional word. It carries with it the idea of running against the wind, the idea of pushing against resistance, the idea of never giving up no matter what. And Paul says this is how I pursue Christ. I had a friend call and remind me of this story, and it actually fits the sermon. You may have heard it, but years and years ago, Scott, this friend of mine, Scott, happened to be wandering through his neighborhood at about 2 o'clock in the morning. We were discussing the Bible because we were both future preacher boys, and we couldn't get girls to go out with us. And anyway, so we're walking through the neighborhood discussing the Bible about 2 o'clock in the morning, and we hear this noise, and we look over at the house, and underneath the fence, this dog, this basset hound, starts pushing its head out, and it wiggles its body out, and it trots over to us, a little tail wagging, like, well, I'm here now, guys. Let's go. And it starts following us down the street. Well, we didn't want the little dog to get hurt and run over by a car and get lost or something. It was late at night. We didn't want to wake the people up, so we tried to put the dog back the way we found him. With basset hounds and probably any other dog are kind of like toothpaste, and in that once you let them out of a hole in the fence, you can't really put them back in that hole in the fence. And so Scott and I was telling Scott, I'm pretty sure that this part of the plan was his idea, and he says that he thinks it was my idea, but the brilliant plan that we came up with to get the dog not to follow us was we were going to outrun it. And if you're laughing, then you know what we had forgot, that the word hound means I'm a dog that can run all day. And that's what hound dogs are. They're dogs that are bred to chase other animals all day. But we were college students. We had a plan. We were going to outrun the hound dog. So we said, stay. And we stopped. And we started backing up because, we figured we'd get about 20 feet. Stay, good dog, stay. Got about 20 feet from him, and one of us said, go.